Greetings and salutations of peace. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself at this time. We call it the Holy Master Blaster Jabbin. It has been said that the black man in America has no culture. It is the endeavor of this discourse, 7/30/2025, is to reveal the true culture of the black man in the wilderness of North America. This is the essence of the so-called Black Revolution, which should be called the Black Evolution, because in a revolution there is evolution. From the year 1930, the inception of the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering lion of the tribe of Yehuda, and the Nation of Islam, 1930, the two redemption movements ordained by the law of time and human affairs. There was no stagnation, there was a movement. So here we bring to you in the final days the true revolution of the black people and the true culture of the black people. First, we will start with my meeting with the Hopi elders. The return of the elder brother and the crop circle mystery. This is a true black culture. This is the essence of the black revolution. It was in the 11th year of my journey, I met Thomas Ben-Ktifa, Hopi elder, who addressed the United Nations General Assembly in the year 1992. It is the year I met him, the day of the solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse of the year 1992, occurred on June 30, 1992, 14 days after my 35th birth date. Thomas Ben-Ktifa lived in Cokesmovie Village, Arizona, on Hopi Tutskawa, which is located on the third mesa. Me and my then wife and 3 children, 11, 8, and 5, respectively, left Jacksonville, Florida via Greyhound bus for Arizona. From the bus station, taking cab to U-Haul rental, telling the owner of our quest he gifted us a U-Haul truck to Third Mesa, where we reached as sun was setting June 29, 1992. As we reached Third Mesa, and the very peaceful and friendly people were settling in around their tables for their final meal of the day. Entering one home, I inquired about the myth of the return of the elder brother, Bohana. No one knew or understood. I asked them, did they still live the old ways? They answered no. I went about the community. The reply was a resounding no. Exiting one home, I saw a young Hopi walking across the yard. Speaking to him about my journey, he suggested I travel up the mesa to a place called Cokesmovie. He said a man he called Old Thomas lived there by the post office. So we traveled in the dark. There we slept in truck until the next day. Went to the home of the Hopi elder Thomas Ben-Ktifa, i.e. Thomas Ben-Yasha, where his wife came to the door to greet us. We told her of our mission. She informed us that her husband was in a meeting with Hopi from China. She delivered the message and returned with a beach sun umbrella, placing them over the seating where we waited Thomas to come out, meet with us. When he came out, he explained he was meeting with Hopi from China, discussing plans to solve passport issues with the government concerning Hopi traveling freely, as he never used passports to travel himself. He wanted the same for the Hopi globally. I had brought pictures, collages, etc. of current crop circles, photos of Bob Marley, Emperor Haile Selassie, and Stevie Wonder as it related to the prophecy of Bohana. He studied them, then smiled, asked me to hold on. He went back into his home and brought out to the table also crop circle pictures, explaining they were from the government, as he was asked to compare them to Hopi symbols. As far as my request, mission, etc., he first related a story of a South African man who traveled to the Southwest on a similar mission concerning the prophecy. He said this man was dressed somewhat like me, but he did not meet nor find Hopi. I was dressed in an East Indian style. So this man that came out inquiring about Hopi did not find Hopi, but Hollywood Indians, said Thomas. But he told me that I found real ones. He said that what I told him was not far-fetched at all. The prophecy of Bohana, the elder brother, had been delivered at that time. Note, it was 20 years later, 12/21/2012, that prophecy had been totally fulfilled. At that time, it was the end of the Maya 13th Baktun, the galactic alignment. I met with Grandfather Martin, keeper of the Hopi stone tablets, where I revealed to him the missing part of the Hopi sacred stone tablets, which I received 11/11/2011. The prophecy had been fulfilled completely. And now we know the Dogon carries the wisdom of the black man, who is the elder brother of the Dogon, i.e., which is the elder brother. The Dogon high priest called Hogan wears a red cap, as the prophecy of Bohana speaks of the Hopi elder brother who promised to return at a certain time with the other half of the Hopi stone tablets given to them by Masau in the beginning of their journey, as the Hopi were sent on a journey to find their homeland, as the Supeo, the bottom of the Grand Canyon, is where the Hopi emerged. They came from Central America, sent there by the Olmec Maya to find their space in time. They landed on the three Hopi mesas, Mesa 1, Mesa 2, Mesa 3, which is aligned with the three stars in the belt of Orion. The three stars in the belt Orion points to the enigmatic Egyptian dog star Sirius. The three Hopi mesas points to Chaco Canyon, which is aligned with the star Sirius. Chaco Canyon is in New Mexico. We must understand that the Hopi and the Dogon have the same rituals. This is the information of the culture of the black man in the wilderness of North America. This is the information, the way of our life, the way that it's supposed to be. The black revolution or evolution, it is our culture. So here now we bring to you what is our true culture, regardless of sundry movements in the world today. The man I first met in the year 1992 was, as told to me by a Hopi young man who called him Old Thomas Ben-Ktifa. He is the one chosen by the elders to deliver the message of the Hopi to the United Nations. So Providence made it so that he met me before he went to the United Nations. So he received the message of the missing half of the Hopi stone tablets, which was kept by another Hopi elder chosen by the old men in the 1940s, Grandfather Martin. Thomas Ben-Ktifa, he delivered his message on December 10, 1992 at the United Nations in New York City, fulfilling the long-held commitment to share the Hopi prophecies with the world. So the world leaders heard the message from Thomas Ben-Ktifa. He had been appointed as an interpreter and spokesman for the Hopi people in the year 1948 by traditional Hopi leaders, with the specific responsibility of spreading their ancient teachings and warnings. He addressed the United Nations. This was the cumulation of multi attempts to gain an audience, as he had knocked on the door 4 times, with the sacred number 4 finally succeeding in the year 1992, right after he met the Rastafari Aital Ayman, as a black information was very important to the Hopi. He received the energy to carry out the mission of the elders. And we must understand that this information came from the Olmec Maya. You are now in 2. His speech emphasized the Hopi belief that humanity must return to a peaceful, balanced existence and a right relationship with Earth and its resources to avoid destruction. He warned that the world was approaching mass extinction due to humanity's failure to be Earth caretakers, and that if the destruction of the Earth and its original peoples continued, man existence would end. Ben-Ktifa highlighted the Hopi prophecies which had foretold many modern developments, including the gourd of ashes, i.e. atomic bomb, and the gathering of world leaders in a great house of Micah, the United Nations. To solve the global problem without war, he urged the United Nations to open its doors to native spiritual leaders and investigate and stop the destruction of indigenous lands and the environment. So We now, at the year 2025, know our place in the order of things. We know that we were the original indigenous people of the Americas. So here we bring you the proof that we sent the Hopi here. We trained the Hopi. The Hopi came from the black people, as you will see in this discourse. So the ones who say black people in America does not have a culture, this is our culture. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself of this time. We call it the Holy Master Blaster Jamin. Here at the Rastafari Mystery School, we tell you that one man and the gods, or one man and Allah, has always been the majority. This is the definitive wisdom of the Rastafari, as written in the Holy Book of Wonder by your brother, the Rastafari Aital Ayman. You are now in tune. We ask you to listen to this information attentively, very attentively, that you learn, that you know our plight here in the wilderness of North America. We at the Rastafari Mystery School have fused all the different elements of our culture into one great synthesis. Here at the top, there is no contradiction. Listen that you learn.
Even the ceremonial dance of the Hopi Indians is identical to the Dogon's Bado dance of Africa, using the same symbols and spirit names. Previously, I mentioned that the Olmecs and the Chinese combined to produce the Red Indian, and I will delve deeper into that right now. In the 4th century, a Chinese missionary under the Shang dynasty named Ho Xian, or Hu Shen, came to America in search of his people, who were the East Yi, meaning the black Chinese. When the Chinese arrived, they encountered the Olmecs, who had already been living on the land. The Chinese considered the black Olmecs as the descendants of the black Chinese, Yi people. Hu Shen's people settled and mixed in with the Olmecs and produced the Aboriginal. The Olmecs gave the lower kingdom to the Aborigines. The Aborigines called the land Mujian, which is a combination of the Olmecan Ashuric Aramaic word Mu, which means one, and the Chinese word Zhan, named after Hu Shan. Did you know that there was a province in China today called Zhan, and that this is the site of one of the only Chinese pyramids? Mujian became Mijian and eventually became Mekjian, or Mexico. The Aborigines called themselves Mexicans, and they remixed with the Olmecs, which resulted in a sub-tribe called the Hopi. The Hopi clan was taught the religion of the Dogon and given the secret of the stars. Several hundred years later, the Hindu East Indians arrived in Mexico, and they bred with the Mexicans and produced Mongoloid tribe types like the Inuit and Eskimo, who migrated far north into Canada and Alaska. Out of the Mexican also came the Aztec, Inca, Toltec, Mixtec, and the Mayans, which were the 5 barbarian nations. The Mayans rejected their Olmec ancestry and gravitated towards their Chinese ancestry. The Mayans began practicing human sacrifices and cannibalism. The Mayans were banished by the original Olmecs and were told to leave or be destroyed. The Mayans relocated and sailed east to Asia and mixed in the Mongols of Southeast Asia and became known as Angkor. Today, the Angkors no longer go by that ancient name. Their modern day name is Cambodian. Yes, the Cambodians are really the Native Americans that were banished. This is why the ruins in ancient Cambodia are identical to the ruins of the Mayan Empire. History claims that the Mayan civilization just vanished. The word Mayan means illusions because it seems as if they disappeared overnight. The Mayans didn't just disappear. An entire ethnic group just simply vanished overnight. They simply packed up and moved to the other side of the planet. And you might be wondering, am I saying that the Red Indian is an aborigine? Well, the Red Indian is a result of mixing between Olmecs and Chinese. This is why you have some Native Americans with dark skin and Negroid features, and some with light skin and Mongoloid features. Olmecs were indigenous Americans. Chinese were immigrants. Mexicans are aborigines who were the combination of Olmecs and Chinese. The East Indians that came here were also immigrants. As for the tribes of North America, the tribes of North America were a result of Olmec and Mexicans. However, some of the Mexicans continued to mix with the Chinese and produced yellow tribes like Pueblo and Manso. The yellow tribes mixed in with each other and produced tribes like the Chinook, Tutuni, Kalupaya, Chumash, Oinut, and others. Tribes broke off from each other and produced even more tribes that settled in California. The darker-skinned tribes were the tribes that managed to contain much of the Olmec blood, like the Arapaho, Arikara, the Blackfoot, Cheyenne, Crow, Apache, Mandan, the Pawnee, and the Shoshone. In the 15th century, all of this changed. The Europeans arrived for the first time, the Spaniards, French, British, Italians, and Portuguese. The Europeans mixed in with all of the tribes, black, red, and yellow, and they produced even more stocks.
On white walls, passing butterflies cast their shadows. You are now in tune. On the one, the force itself, the master blaster jamming. Pure lyric are you, in rays of sun. All the flowers know it, and they are laughing. He who rideth upon the white horse is he who come to redeem them. Who are they? They are ones, their father's name, written upon them heads. 144,000 strong, 10,000 chariots, swing low. You are now in tune. On the one, the force itself, master blaster jamming. The intergalactic gathering for the prophesied signal for the landing of the Holy Mothership. For Jaja says, all the musicians shall be there, players upon instruments at them feet.
Greetings and salutations of peace. You are now in tune on the one. The Hopi prophecies state, when the blue star Kachina makes its appearance between the two mountain peaks, the fifth world will emerge. This will be the day of purification, the day of the earth and the fish, says the Dogon. End of the fourth world. That beginning starts the year 2027, the 11th Dogon Sigi, in 600 years. We are currently in the middle of the final Hopi prophecy, which states World War III will be started by those people who first receive the light, the divine wisdom or intelligence. In other old countries, i.e. India, China, Egypt, Iran, Palestine, Africa, etc. The Hopi prophecy says that the United States will be destroyed, land and people, by atomic bombs and radioactivity. Only the Hopis and their homeland will be preserved as an oasis to which refugees will flee. This is the Hopi, the Olmec, the ancient Egyptians, the Rastafari prophecy, wisdom of the Rastafari mystery school. I am Chilam Balaam, Jaguar priest or interpreter Jaguar. According to Hopi elders, you will need to be in the mountains and forest. So plan on getting up above about 6,000 feet of elevation to escape this one. Also remember that there will be earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis. This is a simultaneous event. Also, it is prophesied that there will be a pole shift at this time. We suggest the Hopi Navajo sacred area between the four sacred mountains in the Four Corners area of the Americas Southwest. The San Luis Valley would be a prime survival area, as would Flagstaff and Williams, Arizona. Many will be left behind. Here at the Chilam Balaam channel, we have designed in words the mental schematics via sight and sound that you find your way in this dark hour. As conduit from the higher realms of the Anunnaki to you, we have presented this constant flow of information correct in order, which is the etheric people's spiritual science in collage form. So we have perfected our art for your study in time. You are now in tune. We have fused all the different elements of our culture into one great synthesis. Here at the top, there is no contradiction. That time has come for the great migration or exodus. I have spent time with the Hopi. We have fulfilled the prophecies of the return of the elder brother. The last two Hopi elders chosen by the older ones in the 1940s, Grandfather Martin and Thomas Ben-Ktifa, before they left to go live with the ancestors. You can read of the meeting with Thomas Ben-Ktifa right before he was to go to the United Nations, and my meeting with Grandfather Martin, the keeper of the Hopi Sacred Stone Tablets, 12/21/2012. Research our book, The Return of the Hopi Elder Brother, the Holy Book of Wonder, etc. By our own wisdom, Dogon, Olmec, and ancient Egyptians, we are to seek refuge in the Four Corners area of the Americas Southwest. But it is not the only alternative. The wisdom states, be at least a mile high above sea level. But if due to racism and government intervention, the black exodusers of the 19th century chose a place in the middle of North America, that will be close enough. But our overall goal is to call out to the Lords of Time in grand harmonic convergence as written in the Holy Book of Wonder, the Holy Master Blaster Jamin, the sacred rite of Osiris. This is our safe fail mechanism in this hour. It is our duty to look out for ourselves, for we are the ones we have been waiting on. The gods said for us to call out to them when that time came and everything became helter-skelter. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself at this time. We call it the Holy Master Blaster Jamin. Thus, the territory in northern Arizona, in the vicinity of the Hopi Reservation, will apparently be a safe haven during the transition between the end of the fourth world and the beginning of the fifth. The white feather prophecy, the account is corroborated by passage from the classic book of the Hopi written by Frank Waters, and Oswald Whitebear Fredericks. The book was published in the year 1963. Check that one out. We want to relate to you the connection between the Hopi and the black people came from the union of the Nagamaya, i.e. the Olmec, and the Chinese people. We like to say Tibetans because the Tibetans represent the priesthood. The Hopi migrated to the America's Southwest, landed at the Three Mesas from Mexico. They are our younger brothers. This is the prophecy. We have that information. We are Bahena. In reality, this has been proven to the chosen and the elect. Note that Kemet, where this wisdom came from, means the black land. Hopis live in northeast Arizona at the southern end of the Black Mesa. The Hopi Mesas are the same as the Dogon or Telem cliff dwellings. They are called the Pueblo people. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself at this time. We call it the Holy Master Blaster Jamming. This is the wisdom of the Ant people, Anunnaki, the Anu people, the Anazi. You are now in tune. Be we on the one, the force itself of this time. We call it the Holy Master Blaster Jamming. We are in that hour, and you are now in tune. Fear not, because you will know when Nibiru gets closer into the area, you will see the signs. You will see the signs. So just watch the sign. Even when you see things going down, you still got time. Just keep your eye to the sky and keep in touch with the source, for you are now in tune.
We are the scatterers spreading the word. White smoke rising for the people. Enter the black pop in your eyes. Cha children see through the lights. Prepare the raven tower when it comes. Nation of peace, I crumble, hear the drums. Rasta speak, this is the final call. From the roots of Ethiopia, I rise up tall. Jah guide we through the storm and strife. Prophet left this display, true to life. White smoke arise, illusions are fall. This are the time here, the Rastafari call. May 11, 1981. The prophet gone, but the message live on. With the rise of the smoke, we see the truth. 19 wardens of fire as a Lord. Bright star in the dark, revelation have come. We ignite the spark. Helter skelter in the temple, Mother Mary's side. What will open your eyes, show you the why. Jah guide we through the storm and strife. Prophet left this plane, true to life. White smoke arises, illusions are fall. This is the time here, the Rastafari call. And the great pyramid standing so tall. 51 degrees revealing the all. What Allah promised, it had come to pass. Swallows return, mothership fly fast. Bones will shift, chosen will rejoice. To the high places, hear the righteous voice. This revelation, 44 years, stronger tribe goes up, while other tribe gone wrong. The building on which we serve a false God is built upon sinking sand. Bring my children from the ends of the earth. Prophets bend down low your word. These are the words of the poet titled I. In tune upon the one, let the vibes fly high. Master Blaster jamming in the Lord's name. Anunnaki we be changing the game. We are the scatterers bearing the load. Earth is the Lord's, we walk in the road. The building from which we serve false God is built upon sinking sand. Jack guide winds, storm and strife, problem displaying through the life. White smoke arise, illusions are fall. This are the time with Rastafari call. So we're jamming on the wings of time. That's the rules we feel the rhythm and rhyme. In the name of Jah we spread the word around. The building from which we serve a false God is built upon sinking sand. Feel the vibration, let unity resound. We are the scatterers spreading the light. Come together now in this beautiful night. Jah guide we every step we take. In the name of love, let's uplift the place. Jah children, it's time to move. The building from which we serve a false God is built upon sinking sand. We got to move.
Greetings and salutations of peace. It is my desire, which is true prayer, realization is prayer answered, to introduce you to the 13th movement in the symphony of time orchestrated by the Anunnaki. You are now in tune. I am Ital Iman. Did you know that until the year 1930, there was only 12 spiritual or religious movements? In the year 1930, at the coronation of the Emperor Haile Selassie, there was an esoteric movement created by the subtle majesty of the emperor. This movement was created by the subtle majesty of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie. This movement is called Rastafari, which became the 13th movement, or the 13th religion of the world, joining the 12. If you like, you could think of planets. Many of us, shall I say, many of you, have the wrong concept of God. God is it that dwells within me as me, it that dwells within you as you. It is all from the tiniest atom to the largest star is He. When the Rastafari says one love, that is explained. Many of you have the wrong concept of God. God is like the mafia. He will kill everyone on the plane just to get to one person. Perfect example, in the year 2008, I was 51 years of age. But first, let me explain something to you about the number 51. The number 51 is a code. The lateral base of the Great Pyramid slopes upward to the apex at 51 degrees. So we go to Holy Quran, Surah 51, the scatterers, El Dariyat, the winnowing winds, depicting those who scattered the monuments, the monolithic structures, the pyramids throughout the boundless earth and universe. Verse 24 explains about who those men are. They are the angels that came to Abraham. These men, the scatterers, are the Anunnaki. So at 51 years of age, I went to a place in Florida, where only gophers would grow. That's the wood that God told Noah to build the boat by, to specific specifications. That wood grows only in Florida. So having a connection to the story of Noah, as a Rastafari is connected to the story of Noah, we are the ones building the esoteric boat or the archetypical boat, or that you get upon board, the poles are shifting, the floods are coming again. So I went there, and there was an incident where a family of 6 came in during the time of a storm. And as they exited the RV, me and my companion was in a yurt. Thunderclap. I realized that something had happened going outside. A little girl had been struck by lightning. The lightning hit the pine tree, came down the pine tree, ran through the taproot, struck the young girl, and she died. So as I approached the company of 6, 2 grandparents, and 4 youth, including the deceased girl, I asked the grandparents, "Is her name Faith?" They said yes, her name was Faith Pristine Johnson. I said, "She is 6 years of age." The grandparents said yes. So I knew that that was a sign from the gods to me. Being 51 years of age, the Anunnaki spoke to me through the death of this girl, young girl, this child, 6 years of age. A lot of you don't want to agree with that. It is written in a place for you to see that Noah was 600 years when the floods came. The girl was 6 years of age. It is written also, by the faith of Noah, the elders were given a good report. The child's name was Faith. Not only was her name Faith, her middle name was Pristine. So we have pure, pristine faith interplaying here. She was a white girl, so to speak. So this is the way the Anunnaki speak to us. So we must understand it. So in the year 1930, 51 years later, 1981, there was another mystical phenomena. Life on earth changed again, the Anunnaki spoke to us. From 1930, during the Depression years, when the 13th movement came about, in the Orchestra of Time, in the Symphony of Time, it was a Great Depression. So there are a lot of young people who are anti-Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam was founded at that time by one called Dr. Farad Muhammad, the Pakistani mystic. A lot of people are anti-Nation of Islam, not understanding the mystics of the gods. So the Nation of Islam, I tell you, was ordained by the gods, the Anunnaki, the scatterers, the ones who dictated Quran, the ones who created the DNA of the earth and the humans, the ones who said, "Let us make man in our own image." So we cannot say that Elijah Muhammad or Elijah Poole or Dr. Farad Muhammad was a fraud or wrong, because this is the way that the Anunnaki with us. This is the way the Anunnaki speak to us in the 21st century. The Aesop fables are used by the Sufis to glean spiritual and psychic information. So, as George Clinton says, this is the way we funk with you. The Anunnaki spoke to us in the 21st century through the music of the 7 major prophets, through funk music and some soul music. So the nation of Islam was ordained by the gods regardless of the hypocrisy and the wrongdoings of Uncle Louis. Makes no difference. This is the way of God. This is the way of the gods. So the ones who are talking against the nation, they don't know what they're talking about. True, Louis Farrakhan did his thing, but God is also with Louis Farrakhan. This is just the way of the gods. Farrakhan has been given many opportunities. We can't question God, regardless of what Farrakhan does. We can't question the gods because the gods are superior beings, as Babylon itself was raised up by the gods just to be brought down. So the gods deal with signs and symbols. We must observe. We must observe. We do not, many of you don't have the authority to judge because you are not enlightened beings. You're not beings of light. So, as I said, God will bring down a whole plane just to get to one man, just like the mafia. So God is a dreadful God. The gods are dreadful, and they are merciful at the same time. Thus is the complexities of life. So currently, many of you are travelers. You have noticed your GPS systems are not working the way they should. You program them to go to a certain place and they take you to another place. So what is happening now is the poles, not the physical pole, but the magnetic poles are shifting. Not are shifting, they have shifted. In the year 2011, they started. Every 11 years, due to solar activity, the poles shift. So that's what has taken place. The magnetic poles of the sun have shifted. So everything is off. But the science within that, or the positivity of that, is that the people, the ones who have put in the work, so to speak, are waking up. Certain things are being realized. That's the pros weighed against the cons. We are waking up. This is a part of the genetic structure where the sun wakes the ones who are prepared up. So you might realize that your wife was a narcissist, your friend was a narcissist, you have lost your wife, you have lost your friend, your so-called best friends, and you are realizing things. Maybe you are on a level where you realize that there's something profound going on, like these beings that you're close to are not who you thought they were. They actually come here as opposition to you, and in reality to aid your spiritual growth. So nothing is as it seems. That is the purpose of the solar or the magnetic pole shift. Now, Trump, The trumpet is being blown. Things will be eerie for TT, but it is the lull before the storm, as it is written in a place for us to see. When there is peace, shortly there will be sudden destruction. So prepare yourselves for the physical pole shift. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself at this time. We call it the Holy Master Blaster Jamming. We cannot expect Babylon teachers to teach us. I am Chilam Balaam, Jaguar priest or interpreter Jaguar, coordinator of the Rastafari Mystery School. I am Ital Iman. Allahu Akbar. Allah, the collective Anunnaki, are the greatest. They are returning. Currently, the physical pole is shifting. The magnetic pole has shifted. The physical poles are shifted. In the year 2000, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter align with Earth for the first time in 6,000 years. The Ross ice shift broke off. The physical poles began to shift in earnest. And it is written, when the five naked eye planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter, align with the Earth for the first time in 6,000 years, trillions of tons of ice and water will sweep over the planet. So the floods of Noah again. It is now culminating. There are bolides coming, electric ladyland, prophesied by Jimi Hendrix. Bolides are coming, poles are shifting, global warming. There's a multiplicity of things, hurricanes, earthquake in diverse places. Nibiru is coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. That's taking place. And the poles are shifting. The Dogon says, as the Dogon wisdom dictates, the sacred star Patolo rotates around the brightly shining star every 50 years, i.e. 49.9 years, round off to 50 years. And every 60 years, that rotation of Patolo is celebrated in the Sigi. Why? To renew the earth. Because every 6,000 years, there is a pole shift or some disaster. Sometimes the Anunnaki have to nuke, like in Sodom and Gomorrah. So, in the year 2027, which we have focus on, the Nyama will fall. We will get the energy, the ones who are prepared. And if we in the right place at the right time, turn the right direction, saying the right thing, we will be redeemed. Anunnaki is coming, but Nyama, the energy from Sirius through our sun, will come and revive the priest. So, since 1427, 600 years ago, 2027 will be the 11th Dogon Sigi. We are focused on that. There will not be the climax of Helter Skelter until after then. So now when the trumpet is sound, Donald J. Trump, he will give us some reprieve. Shortly we will have time to regroup, but after that, prepare yourselves. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself. This time, we call it the Holy Master Blaster Jamming. Check the teachings of the Rastafari Aitol Ayman of the Rastafari Mystery School. Yes, I. Greetings and salutations of peace. You are now in tune. I am Aitol Ayman. In the Dogon culture, Nyama refers to the life force or spiritual energy that animates both living beings and objects. When activated, it can be used for ritual purposes, connecting the living to spiritual realms and deities like Amma, Nyama as life force. Nyama is considered the essence of life, a vibrant and active force that permeates everything. Nyama can be activated through rituals such as sacrifices of animals or plants. Once the dead figure has fulfilled its purpose, stone of the Rastafari, it is typically discarded or hidden away, discovered by descendants, the mystical realm of the Dogon, the spiritual realm of the Dogon. At this point, while the figure no longer holds active ritual power, it may still be associated with the deceased or represent a specific spiritual being, the occult, hidden things of the Dogon, language, telepathic Sigiso. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself at this time. We call the Holy Master Blaster Jamin. One finding DDG is a very special person. Dogon religion centers around Amma, a figure like the Aman of the ancient Egyptian wisdom system, the supreme deity and the creator, Anu, along with Anu, the Nomo, the water god, Anunnaki, Enki, and Liwi, the earth god, Enki. Amma is considered a dualistic deity, embodying both masculine and feminine, representing balance and duality of the universe. We are speaking of the mystic reigns, Nyama. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself this time. We call it the Holy Master Blaster Jamin. The mystic reigns will fall in the year 2027. Nyama is the life force. Nyama is the essence of life. The mystic reigns of 2027, the 11th Dogon Sigi since 1447, 600 years, 2027. You are now in tune. Every 50 years, our sacred star Patolo rotates around the brightly shining star. That rotation is celebrated every 60 years. The 11th Dogon Sigi, 2027. You are now in tune. This is the song of the mystic reigns. I am your brother, the Rastafari, Aitol, Ayman I, and you are now in tune. On the one, the force itself, Nyama, the mystic reign.
What is important to note is that nature is a breathing consciousness. It is alive, it has its own heartbeat, rhythm, and set time like all other facets of earth, like a diamond clothing sun rays, many but one sun.
You cannot escape the fire of your judgment. Fire burns the mind. You cannot escape the hands on the clock of time. The ticking you hear. The heartbeat, the rhythm, the rhyme. Fire burns the mind. Ja people get ready. Soon will be end to police brutality. Ja people our time has come. Get ready for the coming of the holy mothership. Jah people, are you ready? Jah people, sing it with me. Zion train is coming our way. Get ready to go to Zion. Rejoice, I tell him my name, I say. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself, the master blaster jamming. Africans love one another. Mothership is on her way. Dance, Jaja children dance in the rains of power falling in 2020. Sit 'em. Praise the sacred star for the mystic rain. Jaja children, can you hear me? Do you hear me? We dance in the mystic rains of time. Jaja children dancing in the mystic rain. Dancing in the mystic rain. Throw away greed, throw away strife, throw away fear, that your load be lighter. Sail the boat cheer down the river life. Dance in the holy light of smiles under the mystic rain. Dance, Rastafari children dance. Mothership is on her way. Mothership is on her way. Dancing in the mystic well. Throw away greed, throw away strife, throw away fear, that your load be lighter. Sail the boat cheer down the river life. Dance in the holy light of smiles under the mystic rain. Dance, Rastafari children dance. Mothership is on her way. Mothership is on her way. Mothership is on her way.
But in 2001, suddenly the media paid some interest, because then something appeared that was almost impossible to overlook. Right behind me is Britain's largest radio telescope, the Chilbolton Observatory. And here it was that the greatest sensation in the crop circle history was to appear in the fields right in front of the telescope.
On the morning of 14th of August 2001, a formation was discovered which was different from any other previously seen. From the ground it looked like a tangled mess, wisps of crops spread around in no system. However, in the evening with growing shadows, a picture appeared, unmistakably that of a face. That picture represented a whole new technique, a screen technique, the same that's used for printing a picture on paper. 3 days later, the face was joined by something that looked like a data strip. Rows of counters made out of standing and flattened crop. But soon an astonishing similarity is discovered. In 1974, the astronomer Carl Sagan composed a message that NASA sent into space from the Arecibo telescope in Puerto Rico. Binary figures which constituted a graphic code presenting key factors about humans and the planet we live on. 27 years later, an identical pattern appears in a crop field right in front of a similar radio telescope. However, on closer inspection, it seemed to show that the code contained some fundamental differences. Sagan's message explained our calculation system, the dominant chemical substances within the elements that create life on Earth, about our DNA code, humans' height and quantity, and that we live on the third planet in our solar system, and lastly, a sketch of our radio telescope. The message received described the same calculation system, but that silicon is most dominant in life forms in contrast to carbon. The drawing also clearly shows a humanoid figure with large head in relation to its body. It's also explained that they have an extra string in their DNA, are approximately 4 feet tall, inhabit the third, fourth and fifth planets in their solar system, and have a population of around 21.3 billion. Underneath, the telescope has been replaced by something more complex. 1 year earlier, a strange crop circle had appeared in the same place. Is this the same illustration as in the sender's code? Is this the correspondence radio telescope? If this is not an extremely clever and well-calculated joke conducted by humans, is it a serious response from an alien civilization? The following year, very nearly on the same day, a new picture appears that gives new force to the alien theory, this time in Crabwood, near the town of Winchester in Hampshire. Once again we see a face, but this time there is an unmistakable resemblance to something extraterrestrial. The picture also contains a print, somewhat similar to that of a CD, with something that appears to be a coded message. This formation also has a new type of design, this time with horizontal line patterns of variable thickness, similar to that of a TV picture. The message on the disc is similar to a spiral band built up of many boxes. But data expert Paul Weige manages to decipher the message.
And I had to enlarge the disc quite substantially on the computer and run some image analysis over it to make it clear so that I could see what was a standing tuft and what was flattened. And while I was doing this, I noticed that every so often there was almost a mistake in the diagram. It was like there was a tuft, where the little square tuft, it had done sort of half size. I thought that's a bit odd, and it seemed fairly regular. I was going round, and I sort of counted up, and it was sort of literally every sort of 8 bytes or whatever. And I thought, oh, 8 bytes, and you know, from computer side, is obviously some sort of binary code. So then I did the straightforward thing. I just converted it into ASCII, which is the standard sort of computer language that you encode the alphabet in. And of course I then started to get words forming out, and I thought, oh, you know, I'm getting somewhere here. So I then did the whole thing for the whole lot, and got this message.
The message is in English and reads as follows. Beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Much pain, but still time. There is good out there. We oppose deception. Conduit closing.
Within 2,000 years Christ shall return, and when he return, him going to be King of Kings.